want to see. And so that's been sort of my mantra ever since. They trust their bank to help them. That's a mistake. The TPP is a temporary payment plan. And so by this time, you know, you've been through a few months of this paperwork nightmare. And thank God you're going to get into a TPP. That's fantastic, right? Because if you get the TPP and you make 3 payments on time, you're supposed to get your modification. So I have had people who have made 19 TPP payments on time, only to find out at the last minute that the rug is pulled out from under them. They do not qualify for a modification. And oh, by the way, you have a sale date scheduled within 30, 40 days. Brings me to the conclusion that there's absolutely been a premeditated, manufactured implosion of our economy. And you know, I could go into a little more detail or why that's occurred. I have some political ideas why it might be occurring, and some of the things I'm seeing in the news and what's going on right now, it all kind of dovetails together. You know, I believe if you take people's wealth and their property from them, they're disempowered, and then you can pretty much implement whatever you want because they're dependent on.
Along with that, if you control their medical care, you've got it.
Absolutely. I do not believe this is a Democrat, Republican issue, red, blue. I believe actually that that's sort of a decoy. You know, it gets us fighting amongst each other, and we need to identify the real issue. And I believe the real issue is we don't have free enterprise now. We have a corporatocracy. We have the wealth and the power is concentrated. We do not recommend you going through the modification process on your own. Get an attorney or a housing counselor. I thought that was really kind of interesting. That was the recommendation at this point. I used to work in healthcare, and there's what's called triage. Somebody comes in, they're bleeding out. You assess. You stabilize. You assess, and you bring in the specialist. That's kind of what Financial Revival Group does. We're not attorneys, but we have a network of attorneys, and we have attorneys, we have accountants, we have paralegal support, we have the support system for you. People telling me, I've got a sale in 3 days, or I've got a sale in a week. And they have waited so long that they've missed all the options that they had. For example, the state mediation program. In 2011, our state, our legislature, realized that there was a problem with the modification thing, in the modification process. And so they enacted the Washington State Foreclosure Fairness Act mediation program, which basically says if you get a notice of default on an owner-occupied property, you have a right to the state mediation process. We will hold your hand through that mediation process. If you decide that you need an attorney, well, actually, a housing counselor or attorney has to refer you, and then we can kind of take the ball from there. If you want to, you can add on attorney services such as letters or even representation at the meeting in the end. So what we're trying to do is bring the cost down and offer as many options to you as possible. And I happen to believe that homeowners, if they're educated, they're smart, they can figure out what's best for them. And to tell you the truth, I don't want the responsibility of making those decisions, because at the end of the day, I don't have to live with it. It's the home, you have to make that decision. So my job is just to let you know what's available to you and the best information possible, and then hold your hand through the process. The beneficiary challenge letter, that just came into being within the last couple of weeks because of Scafney, the deposition of Stedman of Northwest Trustee Services. Some of the things he said within his deposition sort of led to a new strategy. Each case, each person I deal with, I'm fighting with them because, this is a war. And I think we need to fight it like a war. And one of the things we need to do is we need to get organized. And the other thing we need to do is we've got to figure out how to monetize this fight. Because the banks, by all means, have the money and the organization. And so